Productions.
History is written by the victors. Usually, those victors are humans with flags, tanks, and better dental plans. But in 1932, in the sun-scorched dirt of Western Australia, the British Empire met its match. An enemy that didn't use radios, an enemy that didn't wear boots, an enemy that weighed 100 pounds, ran 30 miles per hour, and looked like a feathered duster with a personal vendetta. Welcome to Animal House TV. Today, we're looking at the only military conflict where the enemy's main tactical advantage was being too stupid to die. This is the Great Emu War. Spoiler alert, the birds won. The year is 1932. Post-WWI Australia is a rough place. The government told returning veterans, "Hey, thanks for surviving the trenches. Here's a pile of dirt in the middle of nowhere. Go grow some wheat." It was a tough life, but then came the Great Depression. Wheat prices plummeted, and then, as if the universe hadn't kicked these farmers enough, 20,000 migrants arrived from the interior. But they weren't people. They were emus. You see, emus migrate after breeding season. Usually they go to the coast. But the farmers had built irrigation systems and cleared land. To an emu, this wasn't a farm. This was a 5-star, all-you-can-eat buffet with a built-in swimming pool. They didn't just eat the wheat. They trampled the fences, leaving holes big enough for rabbits to come in and finish the job. It wasn't a migration. It was a hostile takeover by the world's leggiest frat house. The farmers, being war vets, didn't call the local animal control. They called the Minister of Defence, Sir George Pearce. They asked for machine guns. Now, any rational government would have sent a few hunters, but the Australian military saw a PR opportunity. Look at us, protecting the heroes of the Great War from large, flightless birds. Pearce agreed, but on 3 conditions. The guns would be handled by soldiers, the farmers would provide food and housing, and the farmers would pay for the ammunition. Basically, the Australian government was charging the farmers to watch a live-action version of Looney Tunes. Major G.P.W. Meredith of the Royal Australian Artillery took command. He brought 2 Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. He expected a massacre. He got a comedy of errors. November 2nd, 1932. The war begins. The soldiers spot a troop of 50 emus. They try to herd them into an ambush. But the emus had a secret weapon. They aren't stupid. They're just chaotic. The birds split into small groups. Meredith noted that the emus seemed to have a command structure. Each pack had a tall, dark-feathered lookout who would stay still while his buddies ate. When the soldiers got close, the lookout gave the signal, and they scattered in 10 different directions. A few days later, they found 1,000 emus heading toward them. "This is it!" Meredith thought. They waited until the birds were in point-blank range. They opened fire. The gun jammed after 12 rounds. The birds just walked away. They didn't even run. They just looked back like, "Is that all you got, Bruce?" Major Meredith, realizing his soldiers were being outmaneuvered by birds with brains the size of walnuts, decided to innovate. He mounted a machine gun on the back of a truck. This is Mad Max the early years. The plan: chase the emus and mow them down. The reality: the Australian outback is not a bowling alley. It's full of rocks and holes. The truck bounced so much the gunner couldn't aim. One emu actually ran into the truck's steering wheel, causing it to veer off into a fence. The emus had effectively invented the first kamikaze unit in avian history. After a week, they had used 2,500 rounds of ammo. The death toll? Maybe 50 birds. If this was a video game, the Australian Army would have been kicked for griefing. The media went wild. One politician asked if the soldiers would be getting medals for the Emu War. Another suggested they should just give the emus the guns. because they'd probably use them better. Major Meredith famously said, "If we had a military division with the bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world. They can face machine guns with the invulnerability of tanks." On November 8th, the military withdrew. The emus stayed. The fences remained broken. Total casualties: 10,000 rounds of dignity, 0 human lives, and 1 very confused truck steering wheel. Final score: emus 1, Australia 0. So, what did we learn? Don't bring a machine gun to a bird fight? Maybe, but mostly we learned that nature always finds a way to make us look ridiculous. If you liked this deep dive into the weirdest war in history, hit the subscribe button for Animal House TV. We've got more stories coming your way. Stories that are weirder than fiction and twice as funny. And remember, respect the feathers. Because they're watching you. And they still haven't signed the peace treaty.